Let me tell you something that will completely change how you see your body forever. Most people have no idea what sugar is actually doing inside them every single day. You think you're just eating food, but sugar is quietly destroying your organs one by one. And here's the shocking part. Your body starts changing the moment you stop eating it. Just 14 days. That's all it takes to begin reversing years of hidden internal damage. I'm not talking about small changes either. I'm talking about visible, dramatic, life-changing transformation. Your face will look different. Your energy will feel different. Your entire body will respond differently. People around you will notice changes before you even fully understand what is happening inside. And the best part? You don't need medication, surgery, or any expensive program to do this. You just need to stop giving your body the one thing that's been holding it back. So let's walk through exactly what happens, day by day, benefit by benefit, organ by organ. Starting with something you'll actually see in the mirror within the very first few days. The very first thing you'll notice is the shape of your face literally starts to change. That roundness, that puffiness around your cheeks and eyes, that's not fat, it's inflammation. Sugar causes your body to hold water and creates swelling deep inside your facial tissues. When you cut the sugar out, that inflammation begins to calm down almost immediately and visibly. Your jawline becomes more defined. Your eyes look less puffy. Your face starts looking slimmer. This isn't weight loss yet. This is your body finally releasing the inflammation sugar caused. And you'll also notice it in your midsection, where your body stores the most dangerous fat. Your liver is the first place your body starts releasing fat when sugar disappears from food. Here's why. Your body only has two fuel sources, sugar fuel and fat fuel. That's it. And given any choice at all, your body will always burn sugar over fat. Always. So as long as sugar is coming in, your fat just sits there completely untouched and waiting. The moment you cut sugar out, your body has no choice but to go after the fat. It starts with the fat stored in your liver, which is where most people are overloaded. Within days, your liver begins releasing that stored fat, and your midsection starts visibly shrinking down. Now let's talk about 4 organs that are going to respond dramatically when you quit sugar completely. These 4 organs are your eyes, your kidneys, your arteries, and your brain and nervous system. Most people have no idea how sensitive the eyes are to the amount of sugar consumed. Diabetics develop a condition called diabetic retinopathy, which is the destruction of the retina in the eye. The retina is the main nerve lining in the back of your eye that processes all vision. Excess sugar destroys those delicate nerve endings slowly and silently before you even notice any symptoms. When you cut sugar out, the inflammation in your eyes starts calming down within days noticeably. You'll have less blurriness. Your vision will feel sharper. Colors may even appear more vivid and clear. Your eyes are incredibly sensitive organs. Give them less sugar and they will reward you immediately. Next, your kidneys. These organs filter every drop of blood in your body continuously all day. When there's too much sugar in your blood, it passes directly through those kidneys, causing serious damage. The blood vessels running through your kidneys begin to rust out, just like old pipes do eventually. This is called diabetic nephropathy. Neph meaning nephron, the tiny filtering units inside your kidney tissue. You might notice sugar or protein in your urine when your kidneys are being overworked and damaged. Cut the sugar, reduce the inflammation, and your kidney function begins to quietly and steadily improve. Your body will start filtering blood more efficiently. Your urine will normalize. Your kidneys will breathe again. Now your arteries. Too much sugar in the blood causes what doctors call diabetic vascular disease. Your artery walls become inflamed, stiff, thickened, and narrowed from years of excess glucose flowing through them. And here's what most people don't know. Sugar also converts directly into cholesterol inside your body. So your bad cholesterol goes up not because of fat you eat, but because of sugar consumed. When you cut the sugar out, your arteries begin healing. The inflammation starts to reverse and soften. Your cholesterol numbers will improve dramatically. Your blood pressure will come down. Your arteries will open up. More blood can now flow freely to every tissue and organ that was being starved of it. And then we have the nervous system. Your brain and every nerve running through your entire body. Diabetics often develop peripheral neuropathy, where the nerve endings in the feet and hands start dying off. You feel tingling, numbness, burning sensations, and eventually, you can't feel certain parts of your body. When you cut sugar out, those damaged nerves actually begin to heal. It's slow, but it happens. And because your brain is made almost entirely of nervous tissue, your brain starts healing too. Two things improve in your brain almost immediately, and most people are completely unprepared for this. First, your cognitive function. Memory, focus, concentration, mental clarity, all of it gets noticeably sharper. You'll find yourself finishing thoughts faster, remembering things more easily, making decisions with more clarity and confidence. Second, your mood. This one surprises people more than anything else that happens during this process. The mood improvement that comes from cutting sugar is not subtle. It is significant, and it is fast. People report feeling genuinely happy, calm, balanced emotionally in a way they haven't felt in years. Anxiety often decreases. Depression symptoms can lighten. You just feel better in a way that's hard to explain. Now here's something I need to say because it's been bothering me for a very long time. What exactly is diabetes? At its core, diabetes is a disease of too much sugar in the blood. If that's true, and it is, then the obvious solution should be to eat less sugar. Right? But if you look up what causes diabetes medically, here is what they actually tell you officially. They say it's lifestyle and genetics. Okay. And under lifestyle they list obesity, lack of exercise, and urbanization. Urbanization. Moving to a city apparently increases your risk of becoming diabetic. I genuinely don't understand that reasoning. And they don't mention dietary sugar at all as a primary cause, not even close to prominently. Instead, they actually blame saturated fat. They say eating fat is what causes diabetes and metabolic disease. But that data has been completely and thoroughly debunked by decades of research, now available to everyone. It is not the fat. It is the carbohydrates. It always has been, and the evidence is clear. And when you dig even deeper into their dietary recommendations for diabetics, it gets even more confusing somehow. They tell diabetics to maintain high levels of grains in their diet. Whole grains, they say, are acceptable. But whole grains are roughly 85% carbohydrates. Carbohydrates convert directly to sugar inside your bloodstream always. So they're telling people with too much blood sugar to keep eating foods that become blood sugar. I genuinely cannot explain this logic. It seems so simple and obvious that I keep questioning myself. Maybe I'm wrong. But every time I look at the biology, the answer keeps being the same thing. Cut the sugar. That's it. That is the intervention that the biology has always been pointing toward clearly. Now here's one of my favorite benefits, because it's one that almost no one talks about publicly. When you quit sugar, you are going to start sleeping through the night without waking up to urinate. Water follows sugar. It's a basic physiological principle. Where glucose goes in the body, water follows right after. When sugar is running through your blood at night, your kidneys are filtering it and triggering urination. This is why so many people, especially those with blood sugar issues, are up multiple times nightly. I had patients in my practice who were waking up 8, 9, 10 times every single night to pee. We cut the sugar out of their diet. Within a few weeks, they slept completely through the night. The quality of sleep that comes back when you fix your blood sugar is genuinely life-changing and profound. Better sleep means better hormones. Better hormones mean better metabolism. Everything downstream improves from sleeping properly again. Now let's talk about energy, because this is where things get really interesting from a science perspective. Remember those two fuel sources, sugar and fat. Let's talk about how much of each your body stores. The average person, even someone who is reasonably thin, carries roughly 100,000 calories stored as body fat. That same average person carries about 1,700 calories stored as glycogen, which is your body's stored sugar. Think about that comparison for a moment. 100,000 calories versus 1,700 calories. It's not even close at all. Running your body on stored sugar is like trying to power a city with a single AAA battery. It will work briefly. Then it'll crash. Then you need to recharge. Then it crashes again, repeatedly. This is why people on high-carb diets experience constant energy crashes, brain fog, and that afternoon fatigue daily. Your body keeps running out of its tiny sugar fuel tank and desperately calling out for another sugar hit. But when you switch to fat fuel, you now have access to that enormous 100,000 calorie reserve constantly available. Your energy becomes steady, stable, and sustained from morning until night, without the highs and crashes in between. You don't need coffee to wake up. You don't need snacks to get through the afternoon anymore. Your body is quietly burning its own stored fat for fuel all day, and it feels absolutely amazing. And here's something that connects directly to the next benefit: the complete elimination of your sugar cravings. When your body is burning fat between meals, it is technically eating. It's eating your own stored body fat. So it stays satisfied. It's never truly empty. It doesn't send desperate hunger signals to your brain constantly. This is why people who have made the switch to fat burning say they forget to eat sometimes. Not because they're starving themselves, but because their body is genuinely satisfied, running on its own fat reserves. The cravings for sugar disappear when you stop eating sugar. It takes about 3 days to break through. 3 days of discomfort for a lifetime of freedom from the craving cycle. That's a remarkable trade, honestly. You need to drop your carbohydrates below 50 grams per day to make this metabolic switch happen effectively. And I'm talking about all carbs: bread, pasta, cereal, crackers, rice, juice, fruit, honey, wine, beer. Yes, fruit too. Fruit sugar is still sugar. Your body processes fructose the same way it processes sucrose. The average American consumes about 13.5 teaspoons of added sugar every single day. That's roughly 54 grams alone. But that's just the added sugar. That doesn't include the sugar hiding inside bread, pasta, and processed grains. When you add all those carbohydrate sources together, the average person consumes close to half a pound of sugar daily. That's 275 grams. That's nearly 69 teaspoons of sugar every single day being poured into the human body. Your body is not designed to process that volume of glucose. It was never meant to handle that load. No wonder your organs are inflamed, your arteries are stiff, and your energy is all over the place. When you make this switch and your body starts burning fat instead, the difference is almost indescribable to people. Your mood stabilizes, your thinking clears, your clothes fit better, and you stop being controlled by food cravings. Let's talk about pain and inflammation now, because this one affects more people than almost any other benefit does. When you cut sugar out, inflammation drops throughout your entire body, inside and out, fairly quickly. Your joints feel less stiff in the morning. Pain that you thought was just aging starts fading away. Your arteries become more flexible and less stiff, which has a direct and measurable impact on blood pressure. Many people find they can reduce or eventually eliminate blood pressure medication after consistently removing sugar from their diet. Anti-inflammatory medications become less necessary too, because the inflammation driving the pain is no longer being constantly fueled. I'm not talking about surface inflammation you can see on your skin. I'm talking about deep internal inflammation, inside your artery walls, inside your kidney tissue, inside your eye, deep in your nervous system quietly too. This hidden inflammation is the root cause of most chronic diseases that people accept as an inevitable part of aging. Heart disease, stroke, arthritis, chronic pain, fatigue. So much of it traces back to chronic internal sugar-driven inflammation. When you remove the fuel source for that inflammation, your body begins its own natural healing process systematically. The thicker your artery walls are from inflammation, the less room blood has to travel through them freely. Less blood flow means your tissues are being slowly starved of oxygen and nutrients they desperately need to function. Cut the sugar, reduce the inflammation, open the arteries back up, and your tissues begin healing from the inside. This is not a medication doing it. This is your body healing itself because you removed what was hurting it. Now, you are going to lose weight. But I want to be very specific about what kind of weight. First, within the first 1 to 2 weeks, you'll lose a significant amount of water weight quite rapidly. Here's why. Stored glucose, called glycogen, holds on to water at a ratio of 3 parts water to 1 part sugar. So stored sugar is essentially a water-filled sponge sitting inside your muscles and liver cells holding everything plump. When that stored sugar gets used up and not replaced, all that water releases at once from your tissues. Most people lose at least 10 to 13 pounds in the first couple of weeks from water alone. That is not a small amount. You'll feel it in your clothes, in your face, and in your energy. But then something more exciting starts happening. You begin losing actual body fat, not just water weight. And because you've already cut the cravings and stabilized your energy, losing fat becomes manageable instead of torturous. Dieting with high carbs means constant hunger, constant cravings, constant willpower battles that you will eventually lose, always. Dieting without sugar means your body is satisfied, your energy is stable, and fat comes off without the suffering. The difference in experience between these two approaches is almost impossible to overstate for anyone who has tried both. Not to mention, carbohydrates convert directly to fat and cholesterol inside your liver when consumed in excess consistently. Most of the fat stored in your liver right now came from carbohydrates, not from dietary fat you ate. When you understand this, the entire conventional approach to weight loss starts looking completely backwards and misguided. And your skin, let's not overlook this one because it's one of the most visible and rewarding changes. Acne will improve. Dermatitis, those red, irritated, itchy rashes on the skin, will begin calming down. Skin inflammation and sugar are deeply connected. Most chronic skin conditions are inflammatory in nature at their core. Cut the sugar, drop the inflammation, and your skin starts clearing up faster than most skincare products ever could. That puffy, tired, slightly swollen look that many people accept as just their face? That's excess carbohydrates showing up. The puffiness around your eyes, the redness in your cheeks, the dullness in your complexion, all of it sugar. 2 weeks without sugar, and people will start asking what skincare routine you've suddenly changed or started using. Now I've saved the most important benefit for last. This one sits at the heart of almost every health problem. When you quit sugar, you begin reversing something called insulin resistance. And this changes absolutely everything in your body. Let me explain what insulin resistance actually is, so you can understand why this matters so deeply to you. Insulin is a hormone that your pancreas releases every time you eat sugar or carbohydrates. Every single time. Insulin's job is to open up your cells so glucose can enter and be used for energy production. But when you eat too much sugar too often, your body is constantly flooded with insulin day after day. Over time, your cells become exhausted from the constant bombardment. They start resisting the insulin signal deliberately to protect themselves. It's a defense mechanism. Your body is literally saying, I cannot take any more of this glucose anymore. So the cells put up a barrier. Insulin knocks. The cells don't answer. The glucose stays in your bloodstream. Your pancreas sees the blood sugar is still high, so it pumps out even more insulin trying to compensate. Now you have very high insulin and high blood sugar simultaneously, an incredibly toxic and damaging internal combination. This drives all the organ damage we've already talked about. It's not just the sugar, it's the insulin too. Eventually, your pancreas gets exhausted from overproducing insulin for years. It simply cannot keep up with the demand anymore. When the pancreas can no longer compensate, that is the moment you officially cross into pre-diabetes or full diabetes. Insulin resistance also creates a metabolic wall. There's a certain weight your body will simply refuse to go below. Maybe it's 175 pounds for you. Maybe 210. No matter what you eat or how much you exercise, nothing moves. That stubborn set point exists because insulin resistance locks your metabolism into a fat-storing state rather than fat-burning. You cannot exercise your way past insulin resistance. You cannot calorie count your way past it. You have to fix it. And the way to fix it is by removing the very thing that caused it, which is excess dietary sugar. When you reduce sugar and carbohydrates consistently, insulin levels drop. The cells become sensitive to insulin again over time. And as insulin resistance improves, something remarkable begins happening to your body's ability to absorb essential nutrients properly again. Insulin is required for the absorption of potassium, magnesium, vitamin B1, calcium, vitamin D, and amino acids in your cells. When insulin resistance is high, you're absorbing almost none of these nutrients, even if you're taking supplements religiously every day. This is why so many people are deficient in these nutrients, despite eating reasonably well and supplementing diligently. Fix the insulin resistance, and your cells begin absorbing nutrients the way they were always designed and intended to. Muscles that had started wasting away begin rebuilding. That cellulite texture on your legs or arms starts improving. Your body composition improves not just because you're losing fat, but because you're finally absorbing the protein to build muscle. Reversing insulin resistance also dramatically reduces your risk of heart disease, stroke, fatty liver disease, and certain cancers. These aren't minor side effects of a dietary change. These are massive, potentially life-saving outcomes from one simple decision. Stop eating the sugar. That is the decision. It's available to you right now, at this exact moment, today. Not next Monday. Not after the holidays. Not after one more piece of cake, or one more weekend of treats. Right now, because every day you continue feeding your body sugar is another day of compounding damage inside you. 14 days. Give your body 14 days without sugar, and the changes you will feel are going to be undeniable. Your face will be clearer and slimmer. Your sleep will be deeper and uninterrupted throughout the entire night. Your energy will be stable and abundant in a way you probably haven't experienced in a very long time. Your brain will feel sharper and calmer, and your mood will shift in ways that honestly surprise most people. Your joints will hurt less. Your skin will clear. Your blood pressure and cholesterol numbers will start improving measurably. And deep inside your body, your organs will begin the healing process that sugar has been preventing for years. The biology is clear. The evidence is overwhelming. The mechanism is simple and well understood by anyone who studies it. Sugar is the problem. Removing it is the solution, and 14 days is enough time to begin feeling the difference. So before you spend another minute thinking about whether this is worth trying, it is absolutely worth it. Start today. Commit to 14 days. Watch what happens to your body, and then decide what you want to do. Because once you feel the difference, going back to the way things were won't feel like an option anymore.